Hey everybody, and welcome to Fuzzmaster Games. I am the purveyor of this channel, Fuzzy, and I will be analyzing the Mists of Pandaria press info that just got released on Monday for all of you to enjoy. I am obviously using the Mists of Pandaria press tour in 5 minutes version from MMO Champion, and I'm going to go through each individual bullet point on this list right here and let you know what I think of each one. Alright, first up, the final patch of Mists of Pandaria will be the Siege of Orgrimmar. Both factions lay siege to the city to bring Garrosh down and end his reign as war chief. Personally, I like Garrosh. He's the leader of the horde that I needed because the war wasn't really I love working together to defeat a common enemy like Illidan or Kil'jaeden or Arthas or Deathwing. But when the game was originally set on not one single boss, people fought faction against faction. It was the Alliance versus the Horde, not one conjoined entity trying to defeat something else. Garrosh and Varian brought that aspect back to the World of Warcraft, and frankly, I missed it. But what's happening now is we're going to have to team up again to lay siege to one of our own cities. Now, personally, what I think, because in one of the other interviews, they say Garrosh got corrupted. Now, if they use old gods as an excuse this time, I don't think it's going to be as awesome, because the old gods have their hand in everything. So what it should be is Garrosh got corrupted by the Burning Legion. Maybe he found some blood from another pit lord or something, and now he's going insane. And that's why we have to take him down. Whatever. But yeah, telling us what the final patch is already, it's kind of screwing up their plan a little bit for this being a break from the big overarching baddie of the expansion thing. Because now we know that everything that leads up to fighting Garrosh isn't going to matter because Garrosh is the guy. As for who takes over as war chief, I'm in for Sourfang. Anybody else? Anybody? Alright. Second bullet point. The new LFR loot system will allow everyone to roll individually. The highest few rolls will win an item from the boss. Upon winning a roll, if the boss has an item that you can use, you will win it. If not, you will get some amount of gold. It will only be in LFR to begin with, but can be added to other parts of the game later, which I'm assuming they mean Dungeon Finder. Okay, so what they're saying here is, say there's 10 people in your raid, and the boss drops 2 items. If you have one of the 2 highest rolls out of those 10 people, and the boss dropped something for you, you will get that item. If you rolled and you got one of the 2 highest rolls and there was nothing that the boss dropped for you, you're going to get a little bit of gold instead. That solves the problem of people going into LFR. I've seen it a million times. People going into LFR and rolling need on every single item and taking it away from people that actually need it. Like a priest rolling need on a 2-handed axe is not very useful, and they're doing it just to be dicks because it's the LFR and they can do whatever they want. With this system, it's going to work out a little bit better. I'm all for it. Third bullet point. An 11th character slot has been added. Fantastic. I mean, that's all I can really say about that one. Because there were 10 classes, 10 character slots. you're adding in an 11th class, you need an 11th character slot so people don't have to delete their previously made characters. Personally, what I would have done, like the 11th character slot is fine, but what I think should have been done was there's a limit on your account where you can only make 50 characters across the entire account. Make that the limit on any given server. You can make 50 because they added the ability to rearrange what spots your characters are in on the character selection screen. So just let us have 50 spots. If we want to make 50 Death Knights all on the same server, we can do that. If we want to make 50 priests, we could do that. Just let us go with whatever we want to do as long as we stay within that limit. But yeah, 11th character slot, perfect for people that are completionists. Fourth bullet point, AoE looting has been added. About goddamn time. Because, especially for people that are going into older instances to run them as quick as possible, for like gold farming, or because they're running a friend through, or even just the people that are good at AoE questing, where they gather up as much crap as possible and then kill it all at once, and then they have to spend so much time looting through 20, 30, 40 corpses, and it takes forever. This, you loot one, anything in the area is also looted, and it comes up in the same window. Fantastic. Other MMOs have done it. It's about time WoW has added it. It should have been added a long time ago. Awesome. Next bullet point, there will not be an item squish in Mists of Pandaria. For those who don't know what an item squish is, what they were planning on was configuring, that's not the word I want, retuning, that's it, tuning. Tuning is the word I wanted. They will be retuning, or they were considering retuning, all of the content between vanilla all the way up to Cataclysm, so the numbers don't jump so vastly. Like, in vanilla, if you saw somebody with 6,000 health, that was a big deal. And then you get into Burning Crusade, and the tanks had 15, 16, 17k in the top-end gear. That's a big jump. And then now look at where we're at in Cataclysm, where tanks are having 200k health. That is a big jump. And the point of the item squish would be to change the values and the item levels of everything so it doesn't go up at such a sharp angle. And in turn, dog, shut up. I'm talking. In turn, sorry about that. In turn, the damage that everything would be doing would be scaled down as well, but so would all the mobs. So it's not like when you're hitting a mob for 3,000 and it has 90,000 health, and then the item squish happens and you'd only be hitting for 300, and the mob would have more like 9,000 health because everything would be going down by the same percentage. But the problem with that is you would be getting used to hitting things for, as an arbitrary number, 3,000, and then all of a sudden when you start hitting things for 300, it doesn't feel as good because the number isn't as big. That is their reasoning behind not doing the item squish right now. They're still considering it, but there were too many players that were concerned about it, so and they just revamped all of the talent trees. The talent trees are totally gone. They just revamped all of the talent trees, and the item squish along with that would have freaked too many people out. So they're just going with the revamp of the talents right now. We might get an item squish in the next expansion or two if people really, really want it. But their solution for the moment is if we hit something for 3,000, the number's going to come up with 3,000. If we hit something for 40,000, the number might pop up as 40k in the combat log. That way it just saves the space of the extra zeros. It helps. Alright. Next bullet point is no new race models are ready to be added yet. What that means is new models for the existing races. I get it, guys. We want new models for our humans and our orcs and our dwarves and all of that. We want new models. We want them to look pretty. We know that there are certain models in the game. For example, the humanoid form of Calicos would be great to put onto all humans, but they don't feel like that's the best idea at the moment. We need it. Like, even just the polygon count between humans and Worgen is ridiculous. It's just that, like, they want to update the models. It's just they have other art things ahead of that they need to take care of first. We'll get new models eventually, but for the moment, we're not getting any. The next one is there will be 9 level 90 heroics for players, as well as 3 raids with 14 bosses and 3 difficulties. There will be an additional 2 world bosses, which brings us to a total of 16 raid bosses. The 9 heroics include Scarlet Monastery and Scholamance. I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but I'll say Scholamance. And all of the Pandaria dungeons. And 3 raids, 14 bosses, 3 difficulties. The 3 difficulties being LFR, normal, and heroic. And then the 2 world bosses spawn every couple of hours. That's fine for starter content. Every patch or so, add another dungeon or 2, add another raid, obviously. It's just the 14 bosses spread across 3 raids seems kind of low to me. I know that's what they were going for to start with in Cataclysm, but then they started like Firelands. 7 bosses, I think? 1 raid for the entire tier, 7 bosses? That's not good. 14 bosses a tier, I can deal with. 7, not so much. Keep it at least 14. I think, personally, it should be more like 18 to 21. That way you can have 3 raids, 7 bosses a raid. Because with a dungeon like, say, Halls of Origination that had 7 bosses on its own, they could have easily made that a raid, added a couple extra little mechanics to each boss, and people would have been happy with it. As far as getting Scarlet Monastery and Scholamance as heroics are concerned, awesome. The remakes of Dead Mines and SFK were fantastic, so trying to go back into SM and take on Herod at level 90 is going to be insane. I can't wait. Next bit is scenarios will take place at level 90 in an instance and reward reputation and valor points. They don't need a healer, tank, and DPS. Just DPS is fine. Each will take 10 to 30 minutes to complete, and 5 or more will be available for launch. Scenarios are group quests. Because people didn't really do group quests because they didn't feel like looking for anybody. The most group quests that people did were the Ring of Blood type quests in each of the expansions. But scenarios will be things you can queue for at level 90 in an instance. They're basically group quests. You can go in with 2, 3 DPS if you want, whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't need a tank or a healer, as the point said. And you get rep and valor points. That's fine. I like that. That's perfect. It gives people something to do other than going for a dungeon. If they allow scenarios to be done more than once, fantastic. That's awesome. I want to do something in WoW. I don't have all that long. I'll go do a 10-minute scenario real quick, and then I'll go to work or something. It's perfect. I like it. Next bullet point, in challenge modes, which is a new form of difficulty for instances, the vast majority of players will likely earn a bronze medal even if they are relatively unskilled. After a player earns all the medals at the bronze level, they will be rewarded with an achievement and title. Completing all of the silver medals will earn a set of spectacular gear for transmogrification, and completing all of the gold will earn a unique epic flying mount. Challenge modes will be available for the 6 new dungeons at launch. 6 new dungeons being all of the Pandaria ones. The Scarlet Monastery is split up into 2 different dungeons for these heroics, and Scholomance counts as the 3rd. So the other 6 are the new Pandaria ones. Challenge modes are basically timed events. See how fast you can clear the dungeon. If you can complete the dungeon, you're going to get a bronze medal. That's what they're talking about there. After that, they start tracking up to milliseconds worth of decimal places. And eventually, there's going to be like region-wide leaderboards on the website, and there's no power upgrade to your character. It's all prestige and cosmetic. If you have the special set of gear from doing the challenge modes, people know you're good because you look like you're good because of the transmog gear that you get from completing said challenge modes. If you don't, whatever. Alright. The next bullet point is Cloud Serpents are the Pandarian's mount of choice. You can raise your own by doing 20 days worth of daily quests. I think that's a little bit high for a mount, because that forces people to do quests for 20 days straight. Like, I know a lot of people who do dailies every single day and do all 25 of them and max out as much money as they can possibly make. But 20 days worth of daily quests where you have to do it every day for something that's actually going to help you get around faster. The Pandarin, I don't know how you guys want to pronounce that. Whatever. But like, it's a cool idea, raising your own tiny little dragon mount. That's what the Cloud Serpent is the little floaty dragon guy. Cloud Serpents are a cool idea. I like the idea that you're being able to raise your own from a little egg. But if you're going to make us do 20 days worth of daily quests, make sure that it's not the same 4 or 5 dailies every single day. Like, I don't want to do the quest where I go and get fire or something to heat my egg for 20 days. I want something varied. I want to, if possible, make all 20 days worth of those daily quests a different quest. You just have to do them for those 20 days. If not, then people are going to get bored really quick and then just go buy another race's mount. Next bullet point, the Tillers faction will let you run your own farm. The farmer's market will provide daily quests to improve your farm every day. You will be able to clear plots of land and plant things like cooking ingredients, herbalism nodes, gifts for NPCs to build your reputation, etc., etc., etc. This is pretty cool. It's like adding a tiny little mini game in at the same time. The obvious comparison here is Farmville. I don't think it'll be on that big of a scale, but being able to have your own farm where if you need cooking ingredients or if you're an alchemist and you need those specific herbalism nodes and you can grow them right there for yourself, that's awesome. As long as they don't allow other people to come in and steal your herbalism nodes, It's fine. I have no problem with this. It could be fun, especially if it does get on as big a scale as Farmville was. It could add some extra fun for people. I mean, if because I know personally, I know some people that played Farmville and WoW, and if they can play Farmville in WoW, that's more money for Blizzard because they're going to be constantly in the game instead of doing it on Facebook. As far as gifts for NPCs, I'm assuming that means like you can grow flowers to give the female one. And cooking ingredients, I'm not really sure, other than herbalism nodes, what you could possibly grow for cooking ingredients. But yeah, it's cool. Next bullet point, Warlocks got the most class changes in Mists of Pandaria, along with new pets. That's cool, because Warlocks, like, Destruction Warlocks always felt like a mage to me. They wanted to play like a mage. They just had more dots than mages did. New pets, it's about time. Warlocks needed something new. From what I was reading, they get a couple other things than just these guys, but they have the ability to get a Shivan, which is that crazy six-arm demon thing from the Burning Crusade, as well as one of the Beholders, which is the giant eye with tentacles. Fantastic. Warlocks needed some new pets. Next bullet point, there will be more mounts and less color swaps for different rewards. Basically meaning that, say, the completing all the dungeon achievements mount was a Drake, and then the completing all of the raid achievements mount was also a Drake, but it was just a different color. That's not going to happen as often. They are specifically going to make those types of rewards different mounts. So, say if you kill all of the achievements for dungeons, you'll get a Drake, but then when you do all the raid ones, you'll get like a manta ray or something. This is obviously not confirmed any information. It's just an arbitrary example. That's perfect. I mean, at certain lights, different mounts don't look any different. Like the two Alexstrasza mounts, when you look at them at a certain angle, you can't tell there's a color difference, and that's exactly what they're trying to prevent from happening again. They are also adding armor to creatures to give them varied appearances, something other than just simple color changes. That means when things start getting stronger, they might have more armor on them to signify that they're stronger. That way your brain clicks and knows you actually have to pay attention. That's fine. It's the same concept as the thing with the mounts before. Make them look actually different a little bit instead of just changing what color they are, and people will pay more attention. Next bullet point. There are now 7 zones, up from 5. This was done to add more content to the game and give players a less linear progression path so that leveling for a second or third time isn't the exact same. Fantastic, Blizzard. Thank you for doing this. This makes it like Northrend or Burning Crusade, Outland, because in Cataclysm, you leveled up one character, you knew that you had to go in that one specific path each time, and it got pretty annoying. I mean, yeah, you could pick a different starting area. You had Vajir or you had Hyjal, but that was the only difference. And then after the second character, it was the same progression path that you've already done. When you go in here, you're going to be able to get a third time in where you might not necessarily follow the same path. I mean, some people are going to go through on their first character and do every single quest, but other people are going to race to 90 as fast as possible. This just gives people a different way to go. Like, I like the way Northrend went, where for the longest time I never went to Sholazar Basin. I think it was on my 5th time through that I finally went through there on my hunter, and I had fun in there. So this will add that same kind of awesomeness to the leveling process, and it'll help a lot of people out. There will be 1 new arena and 2 new battlegrounds at launch. That's fine. I don't really enjoy PvP too much myself because I'm terrible at it, really. But the 1 new arena and 2 new battlegrounds, if I remember from BlizzCon, there were supposed to be 3 new battlegrounds. I think the one that they're leaving out is the Dota style, because they just haven't figured out how to make that technology work yet. But it will be there. It's just they're working on it. So 2 new battlegrounds at launch, 1 new arena. That'll keep people happy that just want a PvP. Speaking of PvP, the PvP pet battles are going to be fun and casual, only tracking the number of wins and not the number of losses. When fighting another player, you cannot see the other player's name or communicate with them. I love this pet battle system that they're adding. It's going to attract a lot of new players just simply because they want to do that. Like, some people are going to play the WoW game and then do the pet battle game on the side. Some people are probably going to come in to do the pet battle game and then do the WoW thing on the side, because Nintendo has been slacking with coming out with a Pokemon MMO, and this kind of fills that niche a little bit, because there will be any vanity pet that you have, any of them, will be able to compete in these little PvP battles. And then there's also ones that you can catch out in the wild, and trainers that you can come across and you fight them too, and like gym leaders and that kind of thing. And like certain ones you're not going to be able to catch in certain zones, and you can only catch one kind at like when it's raining, and Stranglethorn Vale. Like, it's going to be cool. It's going to have a lot of casual fun to it. None of the pet battles are going to have any effect on your WoW character. It's just a side thing for you to be able to do. It adds a whole extra dimension to the game that's going to keep people around for a while. I know a lot of people are saying that, oh my god, Kung Fu Panda and Pokemon and WoW? What the hell, man? This is so stupid and lame. I'm not playing this game anymore. We don't need people like you. If you don't want to play it, you don't have to play it. And you don't have to complain about it either. Let the people who want to enjoy it, enjoy it. I, for one of them, will be one of the people that is enjoying it. Currently, right now, I am unsubscribed. However, when the Panda patch hits, the pre-Panda patch hits, I will be coming back in, playing some more. If Blizzard lets me into the beta, I will definitely bring you guys Mists of Pandaria beta content, dungeon runs, questing, any changes that come along. And yeah, I hope I get in. But yeah, that's about all there is to it. The basic info here, every race except Goblin and Morgan can learn the ways of the monk. If I get into the beta, I will let you guys see the monk class. I will do the best I can to show you everything, but I have to get in first. And the pre-Mist patch will be roughly 2 weeks before launch. Obviously, that's when I plan to resub. If the beta invite happens, obviously I'll be back before that. This event might also involve a scenario with Theramore and the Alliance versus the Horde theme. Chen Stormstout might also come to the local cities and get players excited about what is coming. I'm excited to see Chen Stormstout. He's the only Pandarian that ever had a name before. If you remember back in the day in Ratchet, he had some quests where you had to go find his lost kegs because he was on the continent, but nobody ever really saw him except for Rexar and in Warcraft 3 and whatnot. But I'm excited for the pandas, obviously. the scenario with Theramore and the Horde versus the Alliance. If you don't remember from BlizzCon, the start of the after Deathwing stuff is Garrosh orders Theramore to be taken down. Jaina gets pissed. Bad things happen. We find Pandaria via a sea battle, a naval battle. And I don't know how they'll work that into a scenario, but with being able to do that without the tank DPS healer triumvirate, I just drew a triangle in the air. It'll be fun. It'll be awesome. And that's where I'm going to end this particular video. Next video, I can go through the screenshots and the monk skills and talents. I just didn't want to drag this on for too long. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, watch my other videos, and hopefully I see you during the Mists of Pandaria beta. Have a great week.